Welcome back to another episode of Net Talk. I'm Alex.
I'm Mitch.
And we're here to get you hyped for the final.
Yeah.
For finals weekend in Victoria.
It is. And in 2 other states? No.
No,
I think we're one of the last.
Yeah, well, we just spoke about
Us
it.
and Queensland.
Queensland will be Queensland as well. And
They're the day after.
They're the day after. So everyone's getting to that time of the season. We'll be getting to AVL soon.
Literally like 25 days, I think.
How'd your packed week prepping a couple teams go? Good week?
I'll leave that for the breakdown episode, I think.
For the breakdown?
For the breakdown of AVL.
As in we're having a breakdown at the end?
Yeah, I will be for sure. No, we're good. It's just a lot. And coaches who are getting into the higher level of coaching, like I am, I know there's a few of my friends who are as well elsewhere. It's just like you get to a point where there is so much data to look at. It comes a matter of like, all right, what actually matters here?
Yeah.
And I've made up my mind that it's actually not a whole lot. Like not a whole lot matters. There's stats that you can stat everything you possibly can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still have to play your best volleyball. And are you going to be able to do that if you give your players a million things to focus on? Probably not. And it's just food for thought. But it's fun. How was your week?
It's been good. You know, I was going to say juggling a lot of volleyball because like those players are all now juggling finals and AVL, juggling uni games. It's uni games prep time.
Uni games
for
prep
me.
time. I've somehow been roped into doing both. So fucking, why do I do this to
What
myself?
a time. You got a slay and a shame for the week?
I do. My Premier 2 women dominated their semi.
Oh, got over the hiccups of the quarterfinal. Was a bit of a close one.
It was. Well, that was.
And now that
I think
maybe a harder matchup.
This is like Prem 2 volleyball in a nutshell. Is like top 8 is usually pretty solid. Like as in the top 8 teams that go through, it's like not really a surprise. But the placings of those top 8s is always a bit of a surprise. Like I think because we played Monash in the quarters, they were probably a bit lower than they would have hoped, and I think we were a bit lower than we would have maybe been. So we end up and Dandenong with the 7th seed. And they beat the 2nd seed, which was probably quite a big upset. And then we, rolled through them, really. But they're a really young team. I could tell. They were super young. But so I think it's talking to the Premier 2 women last night. It's the first grand final they've been in like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, getting over that hump to get back to the finals because they've had a lot of chances or they've been sort of on the cusp.
I think they've had a bit of a quarterfinals curse for the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked the team last night, I was like, how many of you actually played a grand final before? And like none of them have. And I was like, it's going to be a lot of nerves we're battling on the Saturday. But it's good. It's good fun. The shame for me today is for AVL. Obviously, we're on KO. Awesome. Really,
Perfect.
really
We spoke about that last week. Amazing for the
It's
broadcast.
seriously like one of the best things to come out of volleyball in Australia. But we're still playing this compulsory 5 sets to 18 power plays.
Yeah, they've reshared around the rules for power plays.
What are we doing? I was really hoping. I was like, it's not too late to change it. We could just go, best of 5, back to normal volleyball. And everyone would be like, yes, thank God.
Power plays were introduced on not a whim, but on a pending confirmation until
because we played that
first
year,
whistle,
and it was
still
a
on
month
the fence
before
until first whistle. I reckon.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
Seeing how it was getting shaken.
I don't know. I have to say it. Real volleyball is just better.
Yeah,
this volleyball is too short. But I'd be interesting to poll this because, like, you and I are players. I'm now a coach, and I still feel somewhat the same. I'd be interested, how many people do we have to get on a petition to get this reversed? Like, what's the process here?
Yeah.
I'm more just curious, but I think I don't know. I don't know why I had my hopes up for we can go play volleyball now, and no, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
What's your slaying champ?
My slay can be the finals form haircut. Brought me back to find some form.
I don't know.
And by form, I then wrote played fine. Best I've played this season.
True. You had a really good set and a half, I reckon.
Oh, perfect.
To be fair, it was really hard to get.
No, we'll get to how I played later when we do a bit of game as well, because I'll bully myself.
Yeah.
For the public. The shame is that it didn't matter. Like, we just lost. And that's a shame. And it's even more of a shame this year because we have to play for bronze. Which, yes, okay, I'm still playing on the weekend, which is a good thing.
But you hate playing for bronze?
Just, yeah.
It's so weird. Like,
no, I do love the idea of playing for bronze. I get like tournaments and everything, you play for bronze. But I'm just like, I don't know. Something about my mindset right now is like, like when we get to the game, we're all going to be playing to win. That's like the whole point. But it's still like, bronze.
It's such a weird. It's a Victorian thing only because I remember when I first got here, you guys didn't play for bronze, and like last year was like the first year you guys introduced. I say you guys. I've been here for fucking ever now. Introduced playing for bronze in Queensland. We just did it. Like it was just normal. Like I don't know why you guys had never played for bronze. It's such an odd. So then it was. I remember last year when it was announced we're playing for bronze, everyone was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Why?
Yeah,
why is everyone disappointed?"
We went to the semi-final last year. I remember being like, "We are winning because we don't want to play for third."
Yeah, it was just. I mean, no one wants to play for third, but like, the concept of. Anyways, it's mind-boggling for me. But anyways, so moving into the national and local scene.
Yeah, around. They all wrapped up. We gave a little previews, tried to touch on every league sort of around Australia last week, but WA finished their grand final on the weekend with Checkers.
Dominating.
Clear favourites.
Year in a row?
Yeah, probably.
Fourth or fifth. They posted about it, I think.
God.
Couple of ex-renegades over there.
A few over there at their dress-up parties that get the Instagram reels.
that too.
Or yelling into the camera at media day, the big Mexican man over there.
It hasn't changed.
And then the women, Southern Cross Volleyball won the women's in WA.
Couple of one ex-Victorian player in that team.
Yeah.
Not that it matters at all. So from what we heard, they were probably the favourites to win both those teams. The New South Wales finals are wrapped up. So men's was Sydney North Volleyball, and women's is Pro Volley.
Yeah, Pro Volley.
They're back to back.
Back to back. Yeah, it was Sydney North first.
Yeah, I
remember seeing that. Probably, I was going to say probably not their last. If they get all their players to hang around, you get Ethan Fraser Garrett, Jack Roll stay playing, and a few others. You'll see them around at AVL.
Yeah.
Not Ethan Garrett, not on the New South Wales Phoenix list.
You'd assume he's playing
overseas.
This
is a challenge for a lot of players.
It is a challenge. Queensland is the same on the men and women. Bears versus Wolves. I have to give shout out to Wolves here. When I left Queensland, there was like 4 clubs that were dominant every year. It's like Bears, North somewhat, QT. I can't remember who else. There's like 4. Wolves are like a new club, and they're in all the finals. So it's pretty cool for them.
Not bad.
And that's all I really know about them. I haven't been able to watch. That's one thing. Going back to the KO comment, I want to see the state leagues get broadcasted, even finals. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but that's happening this weekend. The
so
Queensland finals. So maybe you will
Sunday.
see streams or something on.
Yeah, most states
YouTube.
do stream the final. And then in the international scene, we got the women's world champs is like midway through pool phase.
Yeah, approaching. Pool phase finishes like today.
Yeah, so approaching.
We kind of missed the preview last week because it just came up so quick. I feel like,
and I feel like they went through it quick. I feel like it didn't start until the day after.
I'd kind of forgotten that it's a 2-week sort of thing.
Yeah,
so a pool play, if you haven't watched anything yet, you really haven't missed much.
The pool play was below average quality.
It has the same issue as
Champions League.
CEV. Yeah. It is pools of 4 and the top 2 teams in each pool are so much better than everyone else, except for a couple teams here and there you get to catch a glimpse of. Like I had a look at the Ukraine women because they're in VNL next year. They did look pretty good. They got reverse swept by Japan.
Who's a team you would expect to win that matchup. Yeah.
Didn't expect them to go down 2-0. That was a really good game to watch if you have a chance to watch it. Serbia, who's been sort of champs of this tournament, probably
Won't be.
Not going to be champs this year. Tiana Boskovic
Did her ankle.
and it looks pretty bad. It looks bad in the video. It goes 90 degrees.
It does look bad, but we have to remember that she's a very high-level professional athlete and gets a lot of tender-loving care on the ankle.
Can't work magic.
No, I don't know.
All right. But a trainer said she'll be back for quarterfinals.
Yeah, which is in like a few days.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think so.
Don't know how that's going to work, but maybe it's not as bad as it looks.
And the last sort of point is on a team that's not making it out of pool play because they could suck as a team. Sorry. They just didn't get out.
They won something recently though.
Yeah, they've had some good performances, but
I feel like it was at the tournament below VNL for the Europe, like the qualifiers or what? Because we have like the ABC and they have something else.
Yeah.
So Sweden have the Haak sisters, Isabella Haak, who is just one of the best opposites in the world.
She was averaging 34 points across 3 games because she had 90, 95, 96.
Someone described it as like she's the only person on that team that can play volleyball. But she can play volleyball. She's one of the best players in the world.
She took them. They got close in a couple of their matches. But there's just still a gap between. I'm trying to think about who else was in there. It was in their pool, but it was just not a good matchup for them.
And this is what I think we find with a lot of the world champs type of tournaments, because VNL is quite good because there's only 16, or I think there's 18 teams next year. And they're all sort of, there's promo relegation where it's the quality is paramount. These world champs is a little bit more, there's a qualification process and all these kind of things, but the drop off between the top 10 teams or 12 teams and everyone else is pretty significant, I feel like.
Well, Sweden actually didn't even have the hardest pool. I was thinking they were in a different one, but they had Netherlands who left that with 3 wins, Thailand who left with 2, and Sweden beat Egypt. But like, there's a pretty steep gap, like even within that pool, knowing those teams. And how many pools are there? H goes to H. So
there's a few pools.
So there's a few pools of 4. But yeah, they're in the elimination round.
So that would be
tomorrow is the first game of the elimination round.
That'd be like the round of 16.
Yeah, round of 16.
And then quarters later.
Yeah. So this is probably the time you could want to start tuning in, see if Serbia can survive Netherlands. They should maybe still be okay with their talent. A few other teams like Italy will probably waltz their way through, but based on how the schedule looks, they will match up with like Brazil in the semi-final. Like if everything goes well to that point, which is a big tough knockout. The USA women looked pretty good across some of the highlights. I didn't get to watch any of their full games, but
apparently they were boring. But moving into the main league,
the best league in the world.
We did clown on, what was it? One of the other states said that there were 2 biggest global events. One was Taylor Swift getting engaged. The other was their grand final.
It was their grand final. But it's actually the Victorian grand final. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged. And I can just reuse my thumbnail from a few weeks ago.
Perfect. It matches us perfectly, I think.
Yeah. So I'm proposing to you in the backyard after this podcast.
My dreams. So the men's semi-finals last week, it was us versus Heidelberg. We went down 0-3. It was a pretty rough one for us. It was a pretty rough one because for at least 2 sets, the quality was really high. Like we were in it for 2 sets. The 3rd set, I think by that point we were gassed. They just kept rolling through.
Yeah.
The 2nd set, I think, was really where we had a lot of opportunities that we didn't really take.
Yeah, I mean, we worked ourselves into a 5-point lead at one point and blew it very straight away.
Yeah.
It is just such a tough matchup. They play such high quality volleyball for so long that we kind of need to be at that level. And we said everyone can sustain it for a little bit. Myself sustained it for a little bit. Like I was playing well, still like picking on myself, wasn't hugely involved in like the offensive side of our team. I didn't have a huge attacking workload, which was why it was just fine for me to be a blocker.
Which you did really, like what? You walked away from a 3-set match with like 5 shot blocks?
Yeah, but it's just like losing the chance, probably how the season has gone, that I've lost a little bit of the trust, in out-of-system ball. Got a few chances here where like a couple attackers failed and then it goes to me and I mess it up as well. And it's like, oh, it hurts so bad knowing as a player, like You've got to be
that guy.
another 10% better.
Yeah.
And just not being there. But this day, like Heidelberg guys, I said it was probably the best game they've served. I've seen them serve. They serve just
so hard.
yeah,
They're
just
like
really strong. And the players that weren't serving really strong were just serving really consistent, tough balls. Like Parwan took a step back off his serve. It was not his most aggressive serve, but it was still very difficult for our passing line.
And that's the thing that I think I've heard the most comments about, and like we've obviously played them for many years now. They really only serve like that against us and one other team. I guess it's good respect that they probably know that if they don't, because I think the one game they didn't serve like that was the one game we beat them last year.
Yeah.
It was like they really know how to go and dismantle teams from the baseline, and they did really well. Like I remember in that third set was really when it showed that our serve reception just wasn't up to it.
And then as proof of how strong and well-rounded they are this year, obviously where you have our eyes on a few of like the key guys. We're all planning around that because they do, as every volleyball team does, certain players get more distribution. But then this is proof that there are other players, they're opposite. Akash as well, there are other pass.
Are just better than previous years.
Yeah.
There's less load on the main guys because they've got better talent elsewhere. Whereas previous years you could pick on other players a bit more. We went down pretty hard, and then the Monash and Yarra game was a very similar result.
Also went down pretty hard.
Yeah. I think Yarra, from memory, were quite close to stealing a set in the second or third.
The third set went 26-24.
Yeah.
We were sitting there doing our little warm-up watching and going, well, it could go a little longer.
Yeah.
Monash just looked pretty strong most of this whole game. With their depth, probably the opposite, where they were probably just still testing everyone's finals preparation before next week, which I'm sure if this was closer, they would have 100% locked in and said, we're going with this six, but they did still show their versatility, which they might need at points in the grand final. Yarra probably, I think, like navigating a couple challenges with how players are feeling at the moment.
I almost feel like, and this is me and another coach were discussing this, Yarra went with some of the guys who are, the better players, but they are more injured. And you could see there was a couple players on the team that were on the court that just weren't moving well. They weren't scoring well. They weren't doing, but they were like the more experienced players. And it's kind of like, you didn't need to do that last week. So I'm wondering if maybe you just run with the younger guys and just see if they've got the hot-headedness to go and get it done against Monash, because I don't know. Like, I understand the risk to play the older guys and the more experienced, better players, but they just obviously we know they've been struggling with injuries the last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So I get the temptation to do that, but it just didn't look nice. To like see, it never looks nice to see players playing injured, and you could sort of see it. But so Yarra goes down to Monash. So we'll get into the other match.
I mean, it just shows it. Like Monash was a really good blocking team in this, which they'll need in the next game. When we get to preview next week, we'll come back and touch on that, because the women's semi-finals
a bit more interesting.
Yeah. The first game, not so much. Dandenong 3-0 Monash. I haven't rewatched this on video yet, so you can give me
I was there in
insight.
person.
Yeah.
Monash didn't block well. That was the one thing Monash did really well last week.
Yeah.
And the one thing probably that Monash needed to do well against a team like Dandenong, and they just didn't. And this is probably credit to how hard it is to get Dandenong out of system, because they have very good passing units, and they have a great libero, and they've got a great setter who, if you put them anywhere in system or medium system, it's very hard as a blocking unit to read where that ball's going to go. I think Monash really struggled. Like, I think the difference between this week and last week is Monash could dictate the terms versus Cobras, whereas Monash can't dictate the terms with a Dandenong.
Yeah.
Dandenong proving why they are one of the best teams in the comp, and just I think they were just more dynamic in the offense and just run laps around the Monash block. But it was a close game. It's a 3-0, but it was a close game. I think at any moment Monash could have figured it out.
Yeah, I think we've really given credit to Dandenong's defensive side of the game, and I think they're showing us that they have the offensive side as well when they have their big swingers involved, and they did in this game, and they're all in a good spot for finals.
To credit Dandenong a little bit more, they've had a player out for like 6 weeks because she's been interstate. She came back, and the first point of the game, she got set and she drilled that ball across court, and I was like, oh. It just doesn't matter.
As a setter, you're thinking that from hitting warm up, first ball's going to you. You're patting them on the shoulder, you're going, get ready for this one.
You're looking springy today, up you get.
Yeah.
It's just like something we talk about, like establishing your main hitters. And I'm sitting there thinking like, she hasn't been playing for like 6 weeks. So like, is she still one of your main hitters?
Yeah.
Up first set, it bounced it. And I was like, yeah, she is. Yeah. So that was really impressive. Yarra versus Heidelberg.
This is the one where there's a bit more interest.
A bit more drama.
All right. It was a little shakier from the regular season ladder leaders.
Yeah.
Going to 5 sets with Heidelberg. We said last week, like, Heidelberg really needs to just be really clean and efficient, and they need to push Yarra to be playing good volleyball. And they did this. Heidelberg got up to 2-1, winning the second and third set up 2-1. Really pushing Yarra to need to challenge it. Yarra came back firing in that 4th set, showing that they can overcome a little bit of adversity. And there was a lot of energy on court going to this 5th set. Yarra getting over the hump to get into finals. I think I was chatting with a couple of people that they haven't really had the grand final chances either.
I don't think they've ever been into a grand
They've had
final.
a couple star-studded teams back like a couple years ago and just couldn't quite get over that semi-final hurdle because it's what happens when you get down to 4 teams. It can go either way. This game nearly went the other way, but they just that 5th set run that they went on, second half of the 5th set, like after 8-all, it was
Yarra's game. Yeah. This was, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Heidelberg here in the sense that when they are the underdogs and when they play like they have nothing to lose, they're genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
The way they defend and hit out a system is actually terrifying. I think as soon as they got into a position where they did have something to lose, that's when it kind of all fell apart.
It's a tough position to be in.
It really is. Like when you get into that moment where you're 2 sets up against Yarra of all teams and you're thinking like, oh, this is now ours to lose. You could almost see the momentum shift. And I would almost give the same credit to Yarra in the sense that it looked like they were overthinking it a little bit, which was, I think, what I said last week.
Yeah.
As soon as they get into that 4th set, they changed it to a 5-1 system, which I rate pretty heavily. And then they went back to the baseline, just started serving really hard and blocking really hard. And then that scoreline is 25-12. Yarra came to play without anything to lose after that. And then in the 5th set, it was a bit like, all right, who has the mental strength to withhold? So I only caught the 4th and 5th. And I've spoken to a lot of the players from both teams, and that's sort of the observation. But the 5th was just Yarra executed their skills probably a bit better. Heidelberg had a few errors. Like I remember it being like 8-all.
Yeah.
And there were like 3 hits into the net from Heidelberg. And I think that's when it really showed that they were like feeling it mentally. But this was a quality match.
This was a really good match. This is one where I went back and skimmed the live stream. It was good to just have a little re-experience of it. And maybe not. Maybe it's a little last final check before the grand final because Yarra's come off well against Dandenong in their matchups, but it's just a final little check knowing, all right, you can't get into your head in grand final pressure.
No.
Because this is what happens. Sometimes you can have a little faith that you'll fall back on certain things and it just wasn't going right.
Yeah.
Like you can ease off a little bit or start running other stuff, but Heidelberg was showing that they can capitalize on it and they would.
It was
so good.
From what I heard, it just sounded like Heidelberg were just Hail Marying everything. Like that ball's in a hittable spot, they're hitting as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And you know what? I rate that.
Yeah.
I think they've been the team to do that all year.
Yeah, they were making Yarra attack 3-4 times through rallies to win as well. Their defensive touch was really good. The Heidelberg Libero, I think, had the best game I've seen from her. That was tremendous.
She's part of a family of Liberos, so I would expect nothing less. The Yarra coach messaged me. She was like, you've given me the 5-set bug. And I was like, at least you win them.
Yeah. It could have gone the other way.
It was like 7-8 all or so. It very well could have gone either way at some stage.
It's something about this matchup though, actually, because I'm looking at their previous record during the season, because I had actually thought they went to 5 early in the season when a few of the Yarra players might not have been there, but they actually went to 5 in round 16.
Yeah.
Which is just showing
and I
that they
did watch
match up
majority
well.
of that game.
Yeah.
And that was a really good game as well.
Yeah.
Because the first game of the season, Yarra whacked them in 3, but I don't think Heidelberg had any of their players. I think they were all overseas at the time. So not a good representation of what these teams can bring. But yeah, overall, I guess you could say it's expected, these semifinals. Like, this is one year where everything sort of fell the way it was quote unquote supposed to fall.
1v4 and 2v3. They fell the right way, but I would be patting yourselves on the back that these were pretty good performances from all the 3 and 4s.
Yeah. So we'll throw to our sponsor for this week's episode and we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Andor Financial.
Now, as some of you know, a good friend of ours, good friend of the show, and our Melbourne Uni Renegades captain, Michael Cirillo, has recently started his own mortgage broking business.
Not only this, but Mike and Andor Financial have committed to supporting and sponsoring Net Talk for the indefinite future.
If you didn't know, Mike has spent the last 10 years in the finance industry in both financial planning and mortgage broking roles, and is super passionate about empowering people to take control of their financial future.
So you, or if anyone you know is in need of a home loan or would like to review their current lending situation, reach out to Mike and Andor Financial.
You can find out more information in the footnotes or description down below.
Thank you again to Andor Financial for sponsoring Net Talk. And we're back. She'll start with the women's gold medal match.
Start with the bronze.
I thought you said no one cares about the bronze.
People care a little bit about the bronze. They just want to hear what's going on. It is actually a little unfortunate. Maybe people don't care about the bronze because both bronze medals, the men's and the women's, are at the same time.
And they're on the other courts.
Yeah, they're on the other courts, but that's okay. We've got Heidelberg versus Monash. You can come out of this season with a bronze medal match, one of these two teams.
Yeah.
It'll just be good to see one more match, how you've navigated this season. Both these teams have navigated maybe similar things where you lose a couple players here or there. Heidelberg losing player to injury very early in the year. Monash losing a player to professional aspirations.
You mean just commitments, not even aspirations.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, true. Aspirations
she's
isn't the
doing
word.
it, yeah.
The professional calling. So this will be a good test just to see how high-flying and aggressive these teams can be when you don't need to worry about recovery next week.
Most of these players are involved in AVL, so they do.
Nah.
And we have training the next day, actually.
Nah, that's all right. Have the week off.
This is going to be an interesting one. This is, and these teams play very differently. So it'll be interesting to see how this one falls. I'm trying to think about the in-season results here, and I can't for the life of me think of who. Can you pull them up?
Yeah, I'll pull them up.
I think Monash is really good at a couple of things, but their main
round 18. Sorry, that was the last round of the year. They went to 5 with Heidelberg winning. And early in the year, round 5, so probably can't really draw much upon that anymore. It was 4 sets to Monash. So they've traded wins. Yeah. But they do match up still relatively well as well. Heidelberg will need to do probably exactly what they just did against Yarra.
Yeah, I agree. Monash probably need to just block and do, like, they're a massive team. Yeah. They need to go and block, and Heidelberg need to go and play exactly how they like to play. Yeah. Fast, really aggressive.
Yeah. And that really aggressive game style probably meant, like, this game probably goes to 5 again. It probably goes the distance. It's just the complications of playing that style, but it just takes one thing going well.
Agree.
And the game where we're interested in, there'll be a lot going well in this game. I think we've taken sides across this podcast that you're a bit of a fanboy for one of these teams.
I just think this is their year to do it.
Oh, I think I'm
backing the underdog.
I think I'm taking the underdog. The regular season winners.
Danity have won like 3 finals in the last 4 years.
But that's why I think I'll take their side. All right, we're picking sides.
Okay, sure.
2:00 on the show court, also streamed on YouTube for anyone that won't be able to make it to Dandenong. But come on. You've been making it to Dandenong every week this year. You can
do one
You
more.
can make it for one more. Dandenong versus Yarra. This is the 1v2 of the regular season. Everything's shaken out how it's supposed to. I'm saying Yarra's coming off a little bit of a shakier
Semi-final. Yeah.
semi-final
that's
run.
true.
Dandenong's looking good. They're in good form.
You say all this now that you've picked sides. Convenient.
Yes.
No, I agree. I think Yarra have had the harder, more shaky finals.
But I mean,
showing.
Yarra, these two teams, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even say one team matches up against the other particularly better. They are different styles.
I agree. I think
yeah.
these teams complement each other for a good game. I'll say that. It's tough to say. I think I would like Yarra to win because they haven't won.
Yeah.
Dandenong, they've had their time. It's time to move on.
It's time to move
I'll say
on.
the same about the hard work men. I think their strategies are going to be different. I think Yarra needs to stop Dandenong's main pass hitter. I think that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
And I think Dandenong probably need to win through the middle against Yarra. And I think this is interesting for us as spectators and fans because Yarra serve really tough. So it's going to be tough for Dandy to be in system. But Dandenong probably one of the best passing teams. So this is where you get the really entertaining showdown between these teams.
The tug of war between them. You know, we'll see what player of the match coach does. The coach that was awarded player of the match for the semi final. See what he brings to the table.
Yeah, agree. That was really funny. I think, and this is exactly what you would want with a final. It's going to come down to who plays well on the day. These two teams are so neck and neck with genuine just skills and experience that it's just going to be who can execute. And Dandenong have the edge because they've been exposed to the finals nerves, whereas Yarra haven't. Yeah. So that's going to be a genuine, not concern, but a barrier they're going to have to get past.
They've weathered some serious storms on grand final day. Dandenong last year was down
2-0 reverse swept, and then they did that the year before versus Renegades, I believe.
Oh, maybe they went down 2-0 last year, were they? I'm trying to think. They reverse swept Renegades. I remember that.
That was like 3 years ago. That was rough. That was rough,
Yeah, so Dandenong has weathered some serious storms and kept a pretty consistent core to back then with just a lot of player development. So
yeah,
we'll see.
You know what I'm going to say? Side note. I didn't start the 5-set curse, all right? That Renegades team from 3 years ago did. Losing 5 back then, that's what started the 5. Yeah. It wasn't me, guys. No, I think this one's going to be a really good match.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens. I think it's going to be pretty cut and dry. I think one team's going to go 2 sets up, and then the other team's. I think this probably goes to 5. I don't think there's any way around it. If it doesn't go to 5, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
But I do think both of these teams can find another gear if there's nothing to lose. We watched Yarra do it. We've seen Dandenong do it in the past.
Yeah. It's funny because I think it'll go 2 ways. It'll be trading point for point, or if these teams do find their gear, it might be trading 3-4 points one way, and the other team getting 3-4 back. And it just takes one person to be a bit shaky, and then you can't get that 3-4 back.
Yeah.
But like both these teams have no issue winning 3-4 in a row on transition. Like they're both very good transition teams.
Yeah.
If, as you said, if Dandenong can even bring in middles in transition as well as just the straight side out.
That's probably their game style more than it is Yarra's. Yeah. But I think that's probably one of their big strengths.
It'll be a good final.
Yeah. The men's bronze.
The men's bronze. Oh, no one cares about this one.
Okay.
Except for us, and I know the Yarra boys definitely. The players care.
We like playing Yarra. That's always a fun matchup.
We've traded wins this year, wins and losses.
And last year. For the last few years, we've always traded with them, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you reckon about this one?
It'll be good.
It's always funny because and I think Yarra are in the same boat in the sense that they've got a few injuries, we've got a few injuries. So it's like, do we run with the young guns and just see what happens and get the boys a lot of experience?
Finals experience and the pressures.
Finals experience and stuff like that. or there's a bit of competitive nature between us and Yarra. So maybe we get halfway through that and go, oh,
I'm saying. It's the come on, guys, let's just go to the after party.
Yeah.
After we win.
And
they're probably saying the exact same thing because then at the after party, you know, it's just you gotta finish the season on a win.
You do.
You actually don't normally get to do that. So we'll be trying our darndest at the same time as the women's bronze medal match in that centre chunk of Dandenong Stadium. So
it'll be a good. Us and Yarra is always a good match. I feel like that's never a boring match.
To be seeing how much middle activation is really important for us. We didn't quite get it against Heidelberg.
No.
We'll be trying to get it against Yarra. They've got some pretty good middles as well.
They got some pretty good service, so it's going to be a challenge for us.
It'll be a tough one
to find that. The men's gold. This is the true test. The last time Monash were in a gold with Heidelberg, they got absolutely destroyed. It was a few years ago now.
Is history going to repeat itself?
Is history going to repeat itself? I don't think so. I think there's a look. Heidelberg's definitely the favourites to win. There's no denying that.
Yeah. But
I think Monash are in a much better position than what they were a few years ago.
Well, this is the stance I had on that 2 years ago. Was they had a fairy tale run to that grand final? Like they came into the finals in 8th. Pretty sure because another team got demoted a point for forfeiting.
Yeah, they did.
So they only just slotted in, and then Yarra, upset
Phantoms.
Maybe, yes.
Because we had to ride through.
We had to play through Cobras and Heidelberg. And then they got to that fairy tale run, and there was a little extra heat, I remember, behind that final from a couple extra players.
Right.
As a bit of a preview for the AVL season, they had a bit of heat on the Heidelberg side, and they still have that. Like Monash is a more.
They're more well-rounded.
Yeah, I was going to say more mature, but they're not necessarily more mature. There's a lot of youth on this side as well, and we've seen a couple setting misinputs, all right, and bad timing. But I have no doubt that that's not necessarily going to be an issue in a grand final. You can just there's something about the mentality that makes you just make all the right decisions, and it just will play off well.
Or all the wrong decisions.
Or all the wrong decisions.
Yeah, it's one or the other. It's never any middle ground.
No, but I think it'll all come off well, and they're a more well-rounded team than they were that year. That year they were only relying on a couple of guys. But
this year they're more well-rounded, and they're straight up better. Yeah, straight up better.
But
Heidelberg are also better.
So much better than even 2 years ago. More well-rounded. They have shut down Monash in each time that they've played each other. Has
Heidelberg gone to 5 at all this year? I think they might have once because all their players were away.
Actually, they went to 5 with the men's team that goes to 5 in round 1, and that's the only time they did.
Oh, Eastside.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good form from Eastside. I think I was speaking with the Monash coach about this. I think and there's a few people in the community that have good ways on and solutions to how to beat this Heidelberg team. And we talked about it a little bit briefly. I think he has got a good idea of how to go and stop this Heidelberg team. I think it's purely about just same as us. Like we know how to go and stop the Heidelberg team. It's about how long can we play at that standard and how long can we sustain that level of play, because it takes a lot. Like we proved that we could do it for a set and a half in the semi-final. Couldn't do it for more than that. No. Can Monash do it for any longer than us? Maybe. Like they've got a couple.
I mean, they've done it. They nearly did it in
the quarter?
quote unquote worthless
preliminary
final. Where they could have gone to 5 if they didn't make a bunch of errors in a fourth. Because Heidelberg was falling off. Honestly, both teams weren't playing very well in that game.
Yeah, we made the comment that Heidelberg did not play to the intensity they played against us in the semi.
Yeah.
And Heidelberg, like, they have this weird tendency to do this where they'll play what they need to play to get to the final, and then they'll play at their best.
Across
the final,
Because that was really like Monash's chance to get the reverse sweep, get into a 5th and have something fall their way.
Yeah.
Can they do that again in a grand final? It's a much tougher ask because that game, like they have a lot more depth and in their well-roundedness, though, you need the transition. If a player falls away, you need the transition to be seamless and smooth to the next player, which I don't know if I've seen.
No, I agree. As much as Monash do have the depth, I think the depth isn't going to get it done against a team like Heidelberg.
Yeah.
That being said, what we haven't seen from Heidelberg, purely because they are straight up better this year than what they have last year, is like, because when we beat them last, it was last year in the season, and we almost took them in the grand final last year. When you do shut down their options, they don't really have a backup. They kind of just keep trying until
Yeah, they
it
just
works.
do it more.
So I wonder if Monash do a really good job for 2 sets and shut down their main options. Heidelberg actually does have a bench this year, and they do have some decent depth. Like, they've got a couple of guys who we've played in some invite tournaments in the preseason that are genuine players. So the question is, like, do Heidelberg go to those players, or do they just ride with their 7 guys, knowing that at some stage they will figure it out?
Yeah.
But is some stage going to be after they lose 3 sets?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, it is all their players have their first options as well. We can talk about their number 1 option, Manjot.
Yeah.
But he is even better than he was 2 years ago, I reckon. He'll reach into his bag. But if you can take him from his first option to his second thought swing, that gives you a little bit of chance to win in transition.
It just gives you breathing room.
If you can force him to go to his third hitting option, where he starts trying to play off hands or starts dipping and getting frustrated as well, then you can try and win those in transition. But it just, you need to one to the next and trust that Kanwar doesn't pop up, Akash doesn't just pop up and just tee off.
Kani doesn't pop up.
And Pawan doesn't standing dump it on you 10 times. Like, it will happen.
Someone finally caught him on the reach because he was above the height of the net. No, I agree. I think it'll be good. Be a good entertaining final. I see this going one of 2 ways. Monash goes to 5, similar to how we did a couple last year, and maybe they can get it done in the 5th, or Heidelberg just demolish them in 3. I think it's going one of 2 ways. I don't know if Monash have seen their service pressure in a finals match, because they seem to only serve like that in finals.
Manjot had a pretty good run against him last time, where he
that's
was
true.
like,
Yeah,
I'm showing
did.
up. As someone said in our Discord, was like, he has done this, but it'll be seeing it come from
Pawan,
no resting rotation. Every now and again you get the rest.
Yeah.
When someone that's not necessarily as strong a server goes behind the baseline, but you don't get that
in finals time for Heidelberg. Yeah, you don't. However, Monash, I think, because that's the comment about teams that have heavy servers get to train against heavy servers, which is what makes Heidelberg such a good reception team, because they've got heavy servers in the team. Monash do have heavy servers in the team, more than most. Yeah. So they probably get to train it a little bit more than Yarra or us, for example.
Yeah. I'm not impartial. I like watching Heidelberg play.
I agree. Are we both favouriting Heidelberg here? Sorry, Monash.
Sorry.
Next year. Probably not. Depends on if any of these Heidelberg guys retire or not. What can I say? Thanks for joining us today. We hope to see everyone at finals.
Yeah, let us know who you're picking. You know?
Let us know your favourites in the comments. Tell us why. Tell us we're wrong. Likely that we are.
If you're playing, prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Yeah, go on. That's always a good
show us that you got depth in your bag, that you can turn it around, and it all comes down to one game. So it doesn't really matter after. Like, nothing matters after this.
Everyone will forget.
Nothing matters. Yeah. If you lose the first set, doesn't matter anymore.
No.
If you lose the second set, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's just always the next set, the next point, which will be. It's good to see that in a finals arena.
Yep, and then just the postseason party. And then everyone forgets everything.
Keep this game, the men's game, scheduled for 4:00. Let's see it start by 4:30. Eh?
Not 8:30.
not 8:30. All right, and see it. Let's see it. You know what, Heidelberg? If it does start at 8:30, can you wrap it up by 9:30? You know, power it through an hour.
That's what we finished at 10:30.
Oh my goodness!
Still can't believe I was sick for that game. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you there. Good luck to everyone in finals.
See ya.